The further you look, the more things can be quantified or are already being quantified. I've counted all the places that I've been.
New York, Palo Alto.
All the people I've been with.
488. Julie.
Roddy. Mom.
The restaurants and bars visited.
Italian. Japanese.
How many miles I've walked.
7.4 miles.
All the beverages I've consumed.
Coffee. Beer.
Books I've read. Music I've listened to.
Are you obsessive-compulsive?
I think there's a difference between being obsessive-compulsive and having obsessive-compulsive disorder. So, I certainly don't have OCD. I'm an information designer who uses data to communicate and tell stories. I previously worked at Facebook, and for nearly the last decade, I've been producing annual reports that allow me to play with data visualizations summarizing a year of my life. For example, I've rendered an average day in a graph that shows my activities hour by hour. For the most part, collecting all this data means taking notes as events happen and putting them into a calendar. My process has evolved to include custom apps that allow me to manually record what I'm doing over time. I started wearing a Fitbit that counts how many steps I take. Nowadays, I also wear a Nike Fuel Band and the Basis watch, which keeps track of not only physical activity, but my heart rate and sleeping. In my car, I use a sensor called Automatic that gives me feedback on gas mileage and where I go. On my computer, I'm currently using an app called Rescue Time, and this will track the apps that I use and the websites that I visit, and actually gives me a productivity score at the end of each day. I've also been playing with a breathalyzer. This year and last year have been very fraught for people who work with data, and my fear is that people will go into a state of ignorance about all the data that's being generated. When we shop at the grocery store, they have access to our entire history of purchases and could know plenty about what we're most likely to buy and the nutritional value of all this food. Your mobile phone company, as a means of delivering calls to you, knows pretty accurately where you and your phone are at all times. All this data represents a piece of your identity that's being either traded or manipulated or, in some cases used against you. And so knowing who has access to this data and what's being done with it is really important.